with Stevey D. Comics with Stevey D. Comics with Stevey D. Comics with Stevey D. With Stevey D. Comics
That's
with
my
Stevey D.
grandson Leo. He
Comics
made
with
me in
Stevey D.
comics with Stevie D.
With Stevey D. Comics
Leo.
with Stevey
Shout
D.
out to
Comics
Leo.
with Stevey D.
And this is Welcome to Comics with Stevie D, episode 136. And today I'm going to start out with Marvel feature number 1 from 1975. Cover art by Gil Kane and John Romita. And that's Red Sonja. And this is a 25 center. So this was in the 70s. When I was collecting, they were 20 cents and they went up a nickel. When I was in 7th and 8th grade. And the next one is King Conan number 3 from 1980. Cover art by John Buscema. And there is an interior page I want to show. It's Conan always fights monsters. That's his gig, you know. So it's I got it there. It's marked and everything. All right. Look at this. He's fighting this giant snake. Kind of reminds me of the first Conan movie, where James Earl Jones says, "You killed my pet." Here's a real interesting book in Mylar. This is Hulk number 2 from 2022. Variant cover art by Pete Woods. And in this one, he must be taking lessons from the Kingpin on how to dress. You know, there's that famous Wolverine and him in tuxedos. But this is a cool one too. All right, my next 3 books are a story, Lee Falk's The Phantom, number 1 of 3 from 1995. 3-book miniseries written by Dave DeVries. And I like snow covers. I'll just show you. It's a cardstock book. Nice interiors. And it has nice artwork on the back. Same artists, same writers. The Ghost Who Walks is the name of the series. And there's a cool not King Conan, The Phantom. It just reminds me of the way he's sitting, of Conan. And the interior artwork's pretty good. Here's an example of it. And the final book in the series, it's a reflective cover. In his weapon, he has this new kind of weapon on his wrist that shows the reflection, like the Hulk and Wolverine's blades, kind of like that. And let me show you. Oh, here's a beautiful cave waterfall right here. I like cave scenes. They're interesting. And the back of this one, he's in the city in this one here. So that's pretty cool. I'm using my comic book stand that Holly sent me about 6 months ago or so. I've been using it to hold up my one of my 2 slabs up there because it's strong and it'll support the weight. All right, the next book is a modern book. Scarlet Witch, number 1 from 2023. Cover and interiors by Russell Dauterman. And I saw this. I just like the way her hands are glowing, ready for her to use her magic. And let me show you an interior page on this quickly. Any one will do. So there's her and her brother. Let me see if I can find one action scene. They're more fun to look at. Oh yeah, here's one. Okay, the next book was a comic I never knew they had. Or I don't know if the Sons of Anarchy was before the show, but I watched the show, and when I ran across this book, I said, wow, that's cool. I'm going to present it on one of my shows. Sons of Anarchy, Redwood, original #1, from 2016, cover art by Chris Bruner. And my note says, show the last page for nostalgia. Has nothing to do with the Sons of Anarchy. But when I was a small child, this is between, I'd say, 63 and 65, Saturday morning cartoons. Well, one of the earliest ones I can remember is Adamant and Secret Squirrel. And there's their pictures here. And that's why it's nostalgic for me, because it reminded me of my childhood 60-something years ago. My early childhood. Here's a great cover. I got it out of the dollar bin. The Flash, number 348 from 1985. Cover art from Infantino Jawson. And he's on trial in this one for the murder of the Reverse Flash, which he didn't kill. And it's a courtroom scene. And one of the jurors, it's also a time travel story. One of the courtroom jurors, he was quiet through all the deliberations. But when it came down to the last minute, he took him on a time travel trip and showed the jury that he was innocent. And there was other things that showed, gave the Flash reason to believe that the Reverse Flash wasn't dead. But the cover, I always talk about expression in comic books. Just look at that expression on his face. That's a terrific cover, I would say. All right, next we have True Believers, #1 from 2018, originally from X-Men #150. Cover art by Phil Jim Jamez. And these True Believers was a series of comic books that you could get original covers with this banner up top and stories in a modern comic book of classic Marvel books. And so I got a little stack of them. So I'll be presenting them from time to time. And this is The Death of Phoenix. And I want to show an interior page of her passing, kind of like when Mockingbird passed in the West Coast Avengers. Okay, I'll show you the last couple of pages. Here it is. Okay, there she is. And there is Cyclops. He came up to her and she says to him, something's gone wrong with the whole universe now. Those are the little alien people. Jean, somebody get help. Fetch Zorn. And Logan's gone feral. He's really mad because she's dying. And Jean, Scott Lang, hold on. No, Scott. It's the Phoenix understands. She's bleeding from the eyes. I haven't seen you alive for a long time. My best friend. Have to go now. Love, Scott, live. All I ever did was die on you. Gene, no, Gene, Scott. And then there's Wolverine. That's like the cover right there. So I'm not a big X-Men reader or collector, but I like the Phoenix from the movie. All right. Here's a great cover. I have about maybe 15 or so Fables. Haven't read a one yet. They're in the collection. I have the last 12 issues. That's a complete story arc. I'm waiting to get to it when I get past reading other stuff I'm reading. But they all have these terrific covers. Cover art, this is from number 115 from 2012. Cover art by Joa Ruas, Ruas. And if you take a close look, it's very detailed, illustrated. There's a castle and all kinds of stuff. All right. Now, my last book, what kind of show would it be without at least one Iron Man book in there? So, this is Iron Man, Tony Stark, number 13 from 2019. Cover art by Clayton Crane. And what I like about this cover is Galactus. And Galactus first appeared in the Fantastic Four number 48 from 1966. Story by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, inks by Joe Sinek. It's the first appearance of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. Not this book here, but the one that he originally appeared in. And I really like the way Galactus is drawn in here. Okay, with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody that is watching the show and subscribing and leaving comments. I'm going to have a 150 subscriber giveaway. 25. Gotta do that. Yeah, I'm 25 subscribers away from that, and so I'll try to put a nice little package together and figure out how to do all the stuff to pick a winner. I might just put everybody's name in a hat and do it the old-fashioned way, you know, because being in technology, everybody knows by now. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for watching and enjoy your comic book pursuits. Take care.